Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. We're a little off schedule because I was doing something super cool, so it'll be worth it. And we should have a video up. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but video up shortly. I was on a conference call with Ed Bolian, who is the VinWiki founder. And so Ed and I were doing a Zoom meeting just to iron out all the details and schedule his garage. So we're going to be doing it the week of the 13th or the week of the 20th. I got to get with Mike to find out if he can do it one of those weeks.
Of January, that is.
Yeah, January, yeah. To be doing his Sonic cabinets, Swiss Trax flooring, Krenzel pressure washing system, Jenny compressor, OG lighting solution. We're going to paint the walls. We were talking about doing marble flooring, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like a 10, 12 car garage, depending on how you look at it. There's a double bay, double deep, almost triple deep. And then there's another single bay and a single bay flanking that with like a little triangle area in between. So we were ironing out all the details of what the plan is and product and all that stuff. So I recorded that. It's just real crude looking. You get to eavesdrop in on our conversation, so I should have it up on YouTube today or tomorrow. It's processing right now, so hopefully it doesn't slow us down too much on the live stream. But what's going on?
All right, so let's see. AJ King here. Matt, I'm lucky that you showed up. Can I ask you a question?
Okay, sure.
Yes. Well, he just did. That was your question, AJ. Good job. I want to get to this just because of what you're just saying. This popped up on Instagram from vmorella12. Matt, we're about to break ground on a new house. Planning on filling it with many OG items, Renzla on-wall setup, compressor, Prevost, etc. Currently getting anxiety when trying to think about things I should be doing or planning before drywall is up. Any tips or items you've come across that are commonly forgotten, i.e. extra bracing between studs for Cox hose reels, etc.?
I think the only thing you'd really have to worry about is if you're going to do an air compressor, you would need 220. 30, 35 amps, something like that. So you need to run, 10-4 or whatever the heck they run. I don't forget what kind of wiring they run for that, but you need to plan for that. You'd also need to plan for where you're going to put the pressure washer, and you need a dedicated 20 amp there. But other than that, I don't think it's all that tricky. Just have them put outlets, countertop height outlets wherever your cabinets are going to go. And then have them put extra plates in for wiring so you can put in more fixtures if you needed to. So the garage isn't too bad. I mean, if you really get stuck, you can just email me or Kyle, and Kyle can come ask me, and I can figure it out for you in like a minute and a half and tell you exactly what you need to do for the garage so that you're prepared for what you might want. Now, if you're a welder or woodworking or something, I can't be quite as helpful. I can help you think through it, but you're pandering to the exact question I'm hoping to answer in 2020, which is, how do you do this? What's the best way to do this? And so through trial and error of my own garages, and then through working with other people's garages, we're going to come up with a Rolodex of packaging and how you do it and what's the way to do it. And so I'm hoping throughout the next year or two to be able to provide you solutions on your own, so I can make this scalable, so that I can answer the questions for you without having to physically get on the phone with you. Because a lot of the questions are pretty simple, and a lot of the questions that people have are, they're common.
All right, we have a question from Jacob Adams on Facebook. How's the process going with Milwaukee? Any update there?
No, I called them once, left a message, and got nothing. So our secondary plan is we're compiling. We got a little sidetracked here with Black Friday, but we're compiling data on some other case studies or successful cases of products that I've taken on, made videos about, and then have started to sell. And so we have we're starting to get some longer term data, because I've been doing it for almost 3 years now on some products, about the continued rise in sales. What I've asked several companies, which they all said absolutely not, was I wanted to do a case study of how much sales have they done, what's percentage have I done versus the percentage that they've done? And of course, I don't get very much credit with most of these companies, so they thought I was nuts. I guess I'm the only one that's transparent about things. Other people just aren't comfortable with that, so whatever. So I want to then approach it as I'm attempting to make this a little easier because these bigger companies aren't interested in the local yokel story that I'm telling, the story of obsession and all this bull crap. So I'm trying to put myself in their shoes to say, what would I want to know to make a decision to give, to take a risk, because they would look at it as taking a flyer on a little goofy internet company. What they don't realize the impact, and I'm attempting to tell them the impact. So I think the way to do that is to show them the impact of what like Krenza or MTM or Mosmatic or something as simple as like a IncrediPet XL. What the residual benefit is. It would have been really nice to show a lift for the product in general, because one of the common complaints or common concerns is that I'm going to be stealing from their current distribution network, which isn't the case at all. There's a rise in the marketing efforts of doing it, and so I'm going to go to them with here's the products that I'd like to buy. So I want to buy every one of I want to buy like 50 products. And I plan to make this video series with these 50 products. And from these 50 products, I'm going to build out what I would like to buy in quantity. And here's my initial estimate of what I think I'd like to buy to start. Here's some projections of what I think we'll see off of my initial order. And then here's some examples of some similar case studies of similar products like what you have, and where I think I can help. So if I answer all their questions in an email and follow up with 1,000 calls to get them on the phone, I think that might work a little better than me just telling them the goofy story of obsession.
Let's see. We have some discussion going on here in the chat about ONR and your use for ONR.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Especially for our folks up north, like Dan says, as much as I love my pressure washer and accessories, I have to admit that ONR has done well for me in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be doing my weekly rinseless wash tomorrow. So what do you use it for, if you use it at all now?
Traveling, generally. I just don't like how messy it is. I don't like getting my nice, clean hands all messy. I just don't. I don't feel like I get as good of a clean. You don't get in all the jams and all of that stuff. I mean, I guess you could sit there and micromanage the cleaning. But I think it's hard to beat, blowing out your wheel wells and things like that with a pressure washer that you can't do with ONR. And so because I don't have that limitation, the times I use it is like a car's in here and and I wanted to wipe it down because it's nicer to work on a car when it's clean, and I don't want to get all the whole pressure washer and all that out. So I'll do that. Or if like the wheels were clean, and or the wheels, I was changing the wheels or something, and I wanted to clean the paint, I would do it. But most of the time, I'm doing a full wash.
Yeah, and Kyle is a big fan of ONR. He uses it on lots and lots of stuff. He actually cleans like computer screens and stuff like that with ONR. So who knows? I had big plans to kind of talk more about Black Friday and have all these great numbers for you.
Yeah.
But we got kind of busy.
We haven't had time for that, yeah.
No.
We shouldn't even be doing this right now.
Right. Yeah, so if you're wondering where your order is, we could be shipping it out, but we're here talking to you instead.
So I came in this morning and I recorded a really insightful discussion point about the consistency and consistent growth of me personally and as a practitioner. And I had two cameras, one on me and one on the darn thing, and I tried to manual focus it, and because I'm shooting it myself, the thing was all out of focus. But I talk a lot about this deal, like we're doing the podcast because we have to stay consistent with engaging people. Otherwise, you end up with these ebbs and flows of purchases and sales and business performance, of the business doing okay. So, I did this often when I was a young financial advisor, where I would cold call like crazy, and I'd have all kinds of success from all of that consistent work. And then while I was working on all these new clients, working on designing their portfolios and all that, I quit doing the cold calling, quit doing the work. And then I'd have these periods when then I had no new clients. I had no money coming in. I wasn't growing. So I'd have all these fit and fat periods like I do in my physical life. And it was because I wasn't consistent with the effort. So when I was in feast, I wouldn't be tending to the crops, if you will. I wouldn't be tilling the property or the soil. And so in Obsessed Garage, you need to be very careful in that we've had this major feast. And so I know I'm putting pressure on my dad and mom and you and the whole team by me fumbling around doing stuff like this or shooting a video this morning. And I took 4 days off from making videos and doing what I do. But I have to stay consistent with that if I want to continue to see the results. Otherwise, you become, especially in modern social media, you become irrelevant. And so I believe that a lot of the success of Black Friday and things like that is the consistency of focusing on what I'm good at, which is hopefully this stuff. And so Black Friday has really distracted all of us, but we also want to deliver on the promise that we made, which we're getting inching toward every day.
We're getting close to, and I'll just share this final number here, and then you can talk about whatever you want here. But in the 4 days, well, I guess 5, because technically we include Thursday because you turned it on a little early. So Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we had 1,995 orders placed, which is more than we had in the entire month of October and September and a lot of other months. So.
But see, that's a very doable number if you have very simple things. But each one of our orders, like you have an order sitting there on the table that's like 2.5 pages long of stuff after stuff after stuff, and you got to figure out a box. And we have and I showed on the value prop video that we do it a little differently, and that makes there's some inefficiencies in that. But it really is a huge order, a huge task that when we had everybody out there working, we can do 200 orders in a day. Today we're at 100, just trying to catch up, trying to get it done, and we will. So if people can be patient with us, and the more you call and ask about your order, the less chance there is of it getting it done. So just know that we're not sitting around here other than, us doing the podcast to stay consistent. We're super, super grateful, but man, it's a tall order and we're up to the challenge. So, we did $762,000 in sales in 4 days, which is pretty darn incredible. Margins are squeezed a little bit on that because we gave, shipping at no cost, and we also did, 10% off. But I think the volume, helps pay for that. I would guess our margins will probably still be in the, 15 to 25%, when it's, net of cost, net of employee cost. The tricky part is, and this is something we're going to have to address going forward, is that, we can't just bring in seasonal help in the structure that we have now because of the sophistication of the orders. It just can't be done. Even bringing you in kind of fumbles it up because we don't deal with it every day. So we had to kind of learn and probably screwed up some stuff that we had to fix. So we're going to have to figure out how to systematize this and organize this even further and take that next step to be able to teach someone in a few days to bring in seasonal help, or possibly just make that commitment to have more help. And I need to get the gym out of next door so we have more room to be able to put more stations down to pack and ship. So it's been a valuable learning lesson to be able to deliver on it. And it's been like this from the beginning, where we're being overly everything's been overly participated in, and we've had to respond to that. So that's been that's a great problem to have in business, I think, is to be able to respond to it. And I'm going to share that response, and I'm sure there are some people that we always get comments on experts that know how to do it. And I mean, a lot of stuff you have to learn on your own.
Yeah,
so.
And the input is good because there are a million better ways to do some of those things.
Sure.
So it's good.
Sure.
We appreciate that. We have a super chat question here from Jonathan.
Ooh.
Matt, what's your take on the entry-level / revolving door status quo we business owners see? How do you deal with high turnover, and does it matter what industry you are in?
You're talking about turnover of people? Is that what he's talking about?
I think so. Jonathan, clarify there in the chat there.
Sounds like he's talking about people. So
entry level / revolving door. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is tricky. You know, I talk about this in detailing a lot. If I now I don't have a lot of experience, but I do have experience in business, and so detailing would be a really tricky place to hire somebody, right? So you hire someone and you teach them all that you know, so that you can go focus on the consistency of growing the business by finding new clients. And so you teach that guy to do the doing, which is what you know very well. And then they've realized how much money you're making, and they say, you know what, screw it, I'm out. You know, I'm going to go do this on my own. And they can't, of course, aren't you? They don't realize all the stuff that you do, and then they screw it up. And this could be the same thing for everything, whether you're an insurance agent or you're an attorney, or I guess an attorney would be difficult because the person would have to have a law degree. But when you bring somebody in and make them you, then they end up wanting to be you. Even though they may not be you. And so these entry-level positions, I think you have to figure out, so this is what I try to work on, is I try to figure out what's a person well-suited to do. And even our entry-level position is not really all that entry. You know, we don't have any hourly employees. Wendy does part-time, but it's had to become a pretty sophisticated position. You have to learn a lot of product and things like that. And so Ted's already, worked himself up to, he could be a supervisor tomorrow if we had someone to supervise. But I think it's finding somebody that's a fit, and those people aren't hiding. I'm lucky that I'm so transparent and showing how cool this place is. So all I have to do is say, hey, I'd like a job. I'd like to hire somebody, and then I have this massive Rolodex to pull from. But I think you have to work on getting as good as possible at figuring out people's talents, not how great they could be, because if you still have to look at people as glass half empty. I always tended to, like when I was in wealth management, I always looked at people glass half full, and very few people can do that job. But I'd always look at it, well, if they did this, then this, so if they completely changed their entire existence, that they would make it, instead of looking at the reality of it. In reality, how could you do? And so an entry-level type position is tricky for you to invest that much time in it. But I think you just shout from the treetops how your organization is and what the culture's like, and try to show as good of a place it can be to everybody you know on the planet. You may not have a platform like I do, but you have a platform in life where, people aren't hiding. They're looking for, this is what Rick always tells me, people aren't hiding. They're looking for you. They're looking for a place to work like where you are. And so you just have to foster that information. Get it out there in the universe that you're a good place and you're looking. And then when you get here, you'll have more people to choose from, and hopefully less of a revolving door, because you're going to be able to choose from people that fit the position better. Not everybody wants to be number one. Not everybody wants to do what you're doing. Not everybody wants to do what my dad do. I mean, so the key here for me is that not one person's doing the whole thing. So the organization is lifted up by each individual specialty. Whereas no one can thread it. Even I can't thread the whole thing. So the probability of Chris trying to go out and compete and recreate Obsessed Garage against me is not realistic. I mean, he doesn't do what I do. I'm not trying to make him me. I'm trying to make him the best version of you that you could be. That's the hope. And I'm sure every single business owner would fall short, but at least there's aspirations to get there.
Let's see. Russell wants to know from the chat here, how is the Honda Hunt going? Any success there?
No. Again, lots of people have been super gracious in sharing with me either the car they're selling or the cars that they know of, and I'm looking for, like I shared, there was a 12,000 mile example. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for a 25,000 mile unmolested car. They're out there. I'm not in any rush. I couldn't deal with it right now anyway. So this is like a March, April, May type project I'm thinking about doing if I find one. So I have time. So I'm going to keep reminding people that I'm looking and keep searching around and digging around to find a car, just know, when you're in your search, like, I'm not looking for a $7,000 car. I'm looking for like the $25,000, $30,000 Civic. I'm looking for like that great example that I can molest myself. I want an unmolested one that I can chop apart and do what I want to do. If I can help it. I thought about buying 4 or 5 of them, 4 or 5 $7,000 versions and piecing them together, trying to make one great Frankenstein version, which is still possible. But again, I'm putting it out there because I want this to be a longer term. This is a longer term thing, like mid next year, early to mid next year is what I'm thinking. Because I'll be done with the Corvette. I'll be done with the M5. I just saw the M5 rolling down the road, though. Oh my gosh, that thing looks so sweet. So, I don't know, maybe it looks way different rolling down the road than it does sitting there. Thing looks awesome.
All right, we got a couple of, not questions, just comments here. Number one, bring your wood screws. Receiving, sorry, Dallas, let me get back to that in a second. Receiving my pressure washer order today and receiving my press-all order Wednesday. Well done, OG team.
They must have ordered, so those who ordered earlier, those who procrastinated were way behind on. Those who ordered like Friday and Saturday, we've gotten done. So we're into Sunday now. So Sunday, then Monday we had another 500 or 600 orders. So bear with us. I mean, we're going to work all weekend and try to get as many out as possible. My guess is we'll be caught up by Tuesday or Wednesday. So thanks for being patient for those of you who invested in this, because that's really what you're doing. You're buying from me. You're investing in this platform that hopefully you want to frequent.
Then Vint says the new press-all bottles are freaking amazing. They feel extremely high quality. Even my wife loves them and is asking me to order more for her.
Well, don't get too excited. Hopefully they last, and I think they've made the right improvements to them. Just as an update from the video that I made, press-alls, so the black and red bottles of the chemical resistant sprayers, they changed the tip, it appears, and so I know you think that this would be simple and that I would just call them up and have this conversation. They'd tell me what's going on. Well, I'm having to take risks and flyers on this stuff because it's not, for whatever reason, it's not that simple. I'm not this big player buying millions of dollars of stuff from them. I'm asking for exclusivity in the U.S. I'm asking for the ability for us to continue to improve the product, but I have to show why we would be worthy of that first. And so thank you all for buying these things like crazy. I think we're getting close to selling out the blacks and the reds, which we had thousands of. So those appear to be good. So what I wasn't anticipating was that the bottles would have failure points, like immediately. I thought we would get the bottles out there and then improve on them. No, we got the bottles out there and found the failure points. So luckily we've been able to source some replacement parts for them. I haven't seen anybody complaining. So I put the tips in at 10 cents a piece and the sprayers at $5 and the straws at $1, mainly just as a formality to get it through Shopify. So you didn't feel like you're getting hosed when I put everything in for free and then you had to pay $5 to ship it. So luckily people get what I'm getting at here. I'm not trying to make a bunch of money off of tips. I just want to make sure that we're all in agreement here of what we're doing, what we're investing in here as a group. And so the blue bottles, the translucent bottles, and the green bottles, they didn't modify. And what we found out in my last conversation with them is they were doing robot testing on all of these. So apparently, unless you have a robot arm, they don't work. So, no one actually got it off the line and started spraying it. So we have 3 barriers here. The bottles are made and produced in the Czech Republic. Then the Germans are the company that is the production company, or the actual company, that the design company. And then you have me all the way across the world. The question, of course, I had was, who the heck was using these bottles? They don't work. I just don't think they were selling very many of them. So now I'm selling thousands of them, and we'll probably be selling tens of thousands of them if we can make them great. So I'm much more optimistic than I was in the video. I thought we were going to have to punt them, but it appears the blacks and reds, now everybody has them. They're going to do some more hardcore testing on them, figure out what additional failure points we have, and then from there, hopefully, batch 2, version 2, 3, 4 can be improved bottles, improved designs, and then we can start working on labels for them, generic labels, and then branded labels and specific labels, so we can have a whole series of bottles. And then I would like to start providing each product package we sell with a grouping of our bottles as well. So I feel more optimistic about it now, especially after I shared them the video of the blues and the translucents leaking all over my hand right out of the box. The Germans don't like it when their stuff doesn't work. Sometimes they just don't know, and so I had to show them, and so they were freaking out and super responsive. So we should in like 2 weeks have a different variant, and then hopefully the translucents and blues, they're going to send me new heads for them. I'll probably place another order for blacks and reds and tips and things like that, replacement parts for them, and then we'll go from there. I'll keep you posted.
All right, here's one question I can address here from D Mowry 3 on Instagram. Any fire hose nozzle update and expected cost? We discussed this briefly last week because of they only sell the cases in 4. You have to buy 4 different colors basically. And so I've been emailing back and forth with them, but then we kind of got behind with Black Friday, so we're still in the works.
And they're going to be like $35 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's $34.99 is the retail price. So I'm working on it. I'm really trying to get them to sell them to us. So we'll see.
I want a bunch of black and then a little bit of blue and a little bit of red. And they want to sell 4 packs of green, blue, red, and black.
Yeah.
I know we're going to sell like 10 to 1 of black. So I don't want all these extra ones sitting around that we can't sell.
Let's see. From Dallas, we got a couple super chat questions from him. Number 1, let's hear a quick rundown of the next 5 products at the OG store, and maybe the one you're most excited about and least excited about. So do you know what the next 5 products would be?
Well, the fire hose nozzle would be one.
Hopefully, yeah.
Then the PCL air tools, tire filling tools. That'll be 2. Let's see.
Tool grid, is that
3? Yeah, good call. 3 would be tool grid. That's not long at all. I mean, It should be here today. It should have been here already. I don't know what. I got to check the tracking. Tool grid is coming down on Thursday next week to personally launch this product with me. And so tool grid would be the 3rd. 4th will probably be Chicago Pneumatic air tools. And I know people say air tools are dead, but I don't care what people say. I think they're freaking cool. So I want them in my cabinet. So I know we won't get rich off of selling those, but I know that I can provide some value there. And hopefully Milwaukee is the 5th. So I'm working on that. I also have to start working on some more videos of the car capsule stuff too, to get that product line built out in our store so people have my take on them so they can make an educated decision. But Obsessed Garage design is a huge focus. I'm also going to be talking with where's that darn pressure washer or the compressor company, FIAC, I think it's called. I need to get with them. So I've got a stack of cards here that I've got to get on the phone with as we kind of work through this stuff. Oh, Parker Hannafin's another thing. I want to have custom hoses in our store, even if I have to put the darn hose maker in my living room, which I just might do, and we'll make hoses custom. I want to be able to make my own hoses for everybody.
Let's see. Then Dallas had a second super chat question here. Why is the black Prevost coiled airline twice as much as the blue? Is that a quantity of order issue?
I have no idea.
It's not a quantity of order because they tell us here's the price that it's going to cost you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I'm not sure why it's different.
Yeah, I mean that's their pricing. Their pricing is considerably more. I think they do a lot more blues than they do the other colors. So that's probably why. That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't set the price on those products. Jeff chimed in here. I think he's our friend up in the Pacific Northwest at Nike. Hello, gentlemen. No athletic wear or lunch bag shaming this week. Keep up the amazing work. Looking fit, fellas.
I have my fresh and clean Adidas bag. What's the deal? So if I go to is it Asics? No, Reebok. Is Reebok owned by Adidas now? Because the Reebok and Asics or Adidas site are pretty much the same.
I'm not sure.
It says go to Adidas or go to Reebok. It was Reebok purchased? I don't know. Did you say yes?
Jeff says yes.
Got it.
There you go.
He doesn't want me elaborating any more on that.
Yeah.
I'm a Nike guy, so you don't got to worry about that.
Converse is owned by somebody else because I went to make Caroline, my daughter, some custom Converse shoes, and it was the same as Nike or Reebok or something like that. I don't know.
Got it.
Let's see. Let me go to another question here. Matt, when are you going to drive? When are we going to see more of you driving the Z06? Waiting to hear your impressions on the car specifically.
It's a mess right now. I can't even frickin' drive it because it's rubbing like crazy. I thought the sway bar was binding, but no, it's the darn wheels touching the fender wall. So, and I started tearing apart the darn GT3, and so the GT3 is torn apart, and the Corvette's torn apart, and so I need to get my crap together here at HQ so I can get back to work. I want to get the GT3 up and running with a roll cage in it. I want to get it paint corrected. I want to get it PPF'd. I want to get the wheels figured out what I'm going to do there. I got to lower it. I got DSE controllers to put in. So as soon as we dig out of this hole here, I'm going to get rolling on that thing. But the front end is going to have to come up on the car probably an inch. So the 2 inches that I got out of it isn't going to work. So that car is getting punted as soon as I can possibly make it happen. But I got a whole new interior coming. Basically, all the new interior parts should be here in a couple of weeks. They're all special ordered. I've got all the exterior carbon fiber parts to put on. So I'm going to start rolling through the Corvette here. I got that really janky Haltech intake to put on. And yeah, so the Corvette's going to be rolling here quickly. As soon as I get things organized, then we'll get rolling on the Corvette. So you'll see more coming here shortly.
All right, our friend Wesley Bourne wants to know, are you going to Adam LZ's open house this weekend on Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll get there bright and early. I think I'm going to bring the M3 and not just be embarrassed of the water spots, because everybody's always eyeballing my car. The M5 looks pretty sick, though. Maybe I should take that. The GT3 isn't going to be put back together, and the Corvette is a mess. So I'll probably wash up the M3 and take that down.
Where is that? That's Orlando area?
Oviedo, yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Jordan on Instagram wants to know, do you run any paid ads for e-commerce or social stuff?
We haven't. We've dabbled a little bit in it here, just this last couple of months with our guy. I hired Brad to run all of our SEO, our website. We're becoming a really viable searched entity. Not just organically through content, but inorganically. So we've been doing some Google Shopping ads. We've been doing a few Facebook ads around like the giveaway, and we'll be doing a few targeted ads on YouTube. But at some point, we'll be a pretty viable. I'll be a pretty big media purchaser for the brand. At some point here. But I'm going to advertise not product. I'm advertising brand.
All right, Guy wants to know, Corvette versus the GT350, which is less janky?
Oh, the GT350 for sure. Way better car. Just it's not faster. It's just a better car in every measurable way. Its seating position, even with the stupid Recaros that are built for tiny people, it's just a better car.
Let's see, a couple GT3 RS questions here. Matt, will you do an install video on the GMG bar for the RS?
Yep, I'm in it. I got to finish that. So do that while at the same time will be the DSE controller, because it's in that same area is where the DSE controller goes. So I'll probably do a multi-part series on GMG roll bar. I realized I never made a video on that. I just took some photos of it, and then when I'm trying to go back find my video, I couldn't find a video. It's because I didn't make one when we did the bar in my blue one. The GT3 RS, my 991.1, I had a shop up by Esoteric do it. So I wasn't even there. I didn't even see it. So this one, now I'm realizing, I should have paid someone to do it as a pain in the butt.
And follow-up question that from James. Are you going to keep the GT3 back carpet off after you put the new exhaust on?
No. But, man, it sounds cool having the engine right there. No, I won't. I'm going to cut it and put it back in place.
Christopher here in the chat says he was just at AWE having exhaust installed, and they're working on yours right now.
Oh, sweet.
There you go.
Awesome.
Let's see. Super chat question from Jonathan. How do you dry a car that has no protection, no wax, no sealant? I find the leaf blower doesn't move the water around, and water spots form easily.
Yeah, that's such a pain in the rear. I hate doing that. Like my GT3 and my Corvette both aren't protected. So you just kind of get a waffle weave towel out, or a silk, or a I always call it silk dry, like Geon silk dryer, or like a twist loop towel of some sort, and just try not to scratch the crap out of it if you can.
This question, I've been looking forward to asking this question all day here. From Bob Bailey Photo on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if Matt will consider putting antlers and a red nose on the M3. I think the kids would like it. I know he doesn't decorate the house, but what about the cars?
I'm not even answering that question. That's ridiculous.
You could lead
Bah
the parade here in
humbug.
Lady
Yeah,
Lake,
bah
driving the
humbug.
M3 with the reindeer antlers. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely not.
G Stambaugh on Instagram says, since you become so big, will you ever expand your
Big and
product
fat?
line? Well, he wasn't going there, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Will you ever expand your product line into more winter-focused products? Winter-focused products for those who don't live in the South, like ice scrapers, salt removers, etc.
Yeah, probably not. Because all the stuff that I have is generic to anywhere, you know. But who knows? Maybe if I buy that mansion in, since I'm big now, I buy the mansion in Denver, then I'm gonna, have to cater to that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's not on my horizon or not on like the near term here. But I won't say never.
Yeah, actually, while you were finishing up your phone call and I was chatting here, Dallas, our Canadian friend, said that he was hoping a Canadian won the garage giveaway, so you'd have to go up there.
Freeze my nuts off.
Yeah, and freeze to death, and then you'd maybe be a little more empathetic with our friends up north.
I'm from there. And you're idiots for being up there. Move your butt down here. There's plenty of land. Shoot. You're crazy. I don't know how you do it. It's terrible. I'd move the heck out of there in a heartbeat.
Let's see. Oh, we got a big super chat here from Yoshi.
Oh, sweet.
Matty is low energy this week. You need to get a Mountain Dew in him, Chris, so he can get around.
I thought I was doing pretty well here today.
Well, it's been a long week around here, so I can understand that.
Yep.
We were here pretty late one night. I think it was a Wednesday night. We were here fairly late.
Yeah. We were on a roll and just no one wanted to say anything. I'm sure everybody wanted to get out of here, but no, I didn't want to say anything. No one said anything. No one wanted to be the first one to crack, you know. I was like, just keep going. So keep going as long as we can go. Keep going. Everybody keep going. Everybody's on salary anyway, so screw overtime. I don't have to pay that. So just keep moving. Let's see how many we can do.
This is good. James said he could definitely see the red nose and antlers on the Corvette.
Oh, yeah.
The Corvette Club.
The Corvette is real jank city right now. There's no badges on it. There's no front lip on it. There's no whatever those things are called, those splitters on the front that are on it. There's none of that. It's the canards they call them. It's a jank fest, and you can't even drive it. Yeah, I got some work to do.
I'll tell you what, Yoshi, he sent us $20, and so we're going to use some of that 20 to buy Mountain Dew for next week.
No, next week I'm still on the wagon.
Oh,
I'm not talking about it, as you noticed.
Yeah, I
haven't been talking about the cleanse that I'm back on again, because I said I wouldn't do those anymore because I'm just going to be rational. But I'm off the meds.
Okay.
I blew out my back, so I can't work out, and so I wanted to clean out my system, and so I'm doing a standard process cleanse again, and I'm killing it. Today's day 6.
And how much are you down?
Of 21. I'm down 12.1 pounds in 5 days. So I'm going for it. I'm a gym owner.
Yeah.
I can't work out anymore since I blew out my spine, and so I'm just gonna be gaunt looking, like super. You know, the people who like lose like all the weight and they don't work out, so they look super gaunt and like almost dead inside. That's what I'm gonna look like.
Jonathan Edwards says to Yoshi, great idea. Too bad there isn't a refrigerator at OG to store cold dew for emergency situations like this. That's true. We had a refrigerator for about 3 days, and
I got rid of that. You guys are so excited.
Yeah, I was.
I sold it to myself.
We were already putting stuff in the fridge.
I'm pumped at my sales prowess because I sold that trailer too. I'm pumped about that. I sold the guy who owns the building his trailer.
Tanner, this is good. I'm winning the giveaway.
Okay.
And my garage in Ontario isn't heated.
Oh, Lord.
Be prepared, Matty.
I'm coming in June. I'll somehow make sure the products. Oh my man, the products are on back order till June.
That's funny. We got JC from Puerto Rico. Hope to visit you guys in 2020. Hey, definitely come on by.
Cool.
Let's see. For Matt, zebra cakes or Christmas tree cakes?
Christmas tree cakes for sure. It's like a special edition of awesome, and they put the little green sprinkles on them.
Sprinkles, yeah.
Yeah,
makes a difference.
And it's like a better angle You know,
Yeah,
for
it's not
for
as wide.
eating. Yeah, it's got a like a triangle right to my stomach.
It's like a
It's like
little pizza.
a directional arrow of awesome slides right down. If I work hard enough, I can just push the whole thing in my mouth. It's delicious.
Where'd that question go that I wanted to get to? Oh, here we go. From Mississippi Waters. Interesting. Matt, what watch band are you wearing?
Oh, I'm so frustrated. This is the Apple Watch band, but it's midnight blue. It's freaking purple. It's not purple.
Yeah, that's
So I got to get a new one. I've just been too lazy to do it. I've been trying to learn to wear a watch again.
So that's Apple product though.
It's
the
an Apple,
band?
yeah, it's Apple
Okay.
Watch 5, an Apple Watch band, and it's the sport band they call it. But look, that's
That's definitely purple.
as purple as purple can be. It's like black and purple, like
Yeah, that's not close.
blackish purple and purple. So yeah, I have a black and purple band, so I got to get a blue one.
Let's see. Blend Mount is in chat here. It said, "Hi OG team, happy holidays from Blend Mount."
Oh, I told him I would have the darn thing done, but I'm lying to him.
Mm.
Nothing's done.
We've gotten a few holiday Christmas cards here from different people. That's always nice. Matt goes to throw them away, and his mom saves them from
Yeah,
the
go
trash.
check out Blend. I think my 1M is right on the front page there.
What does Matt dislike more?
Oh,
You get 1, 2, 3, 4 choices.
okay.
Lettuce,
Mm-hmm.
gravy,
Mm-hmm.
hydration, or the Corvette.
Oh, shoot. The Corvette messed me up there. I thought I had it licked. So let's think about this. So lettuce is for losers, right?
Shredded lettuce,
yeah.
specifically.
But then again, you know, I've had some ever since going on that rant, I was reminded how delicious the Takis Greek shredded lettuce and ham and feta salad is.
Mm.
The most delicious thing ever, with their delicious Greek dressing. I've also, since I'm on this vegetable-based thing, I'm reminded that, you know, Caesar salad isn't that bad, right? So what was my second choice?
Gravy.
Gravy just looks like someone puked all over. Like, I don't like mixing crap. When you take gravy, nothing's worse than like putting gravy on. Like, my dad loves like an open face
Roast beef sandwich with gravy.
Yeah. Oh, the bread gets all
Oh, yeah.
soggy and gross.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nothing's worse than gravy at like a hotel. Like, everybody goes crazy over it. Like, you know, the puke white gravy, like that southern white vomit that they put on biscuits. Like, how could you eat that? It grosses me out. You probably eat that up, don't you? You fill up a whole plate, cover everything with that.
It goes on everything.
Oh, it's so gross. It's just looking at it just grosses me out. So I think gravy
Gravy
wins.
beats lettuce.
Beats lettuce. But you like, do you call like, you know, like a French dip? Is that gravy that you dip like the au jus or whatever?
No, that's not
that's
gravy.
different. See,
No.
that's delicious.
Yeah, that's not gravy.
Nothing's worse than like Heinz, you know, like that Heinz gravy. Again, my
In the
dad
jar.
loves that crap. Yeah, in a jar. He also likes Miracle Whip too. So, and watered down Kool-Aid.
Ooh.
Yeah. He had my whole childhood. He'd water down our Kool-Aid. It's horrible. It'd be like 50% Kool-Aid.
Is it at least Kool-Aid or was it like
No, it
store
was-
brand Kool-Aid?
It was Kool-Aid.
Okay, well,
but it
there
was
you go.
watered down. He likes it on kind of. I guess his sweet palate is not like mine, where I want it maximum, like
Right.
amped. And what was number 3?
Hydration, drinking water in the car or plane elsewhere.
I got in real trouble with Michelle yesterday because
Mhm.
she had a darn giant Polar Pop in the M5, and I'm like, "What are you doing? You don't need to drive around drinking stuff.
Polar Pop,
Drink in the
For you.
kitchen.
the uninformed, is like a 44-ounce styrofoam
Can in charge of whatever you want.
from a local.
Isn't it refillable or something like that?
Yeah, certain ones you can buy once and you go back and get like 25-cent refills for the rest of your life.
So then you got this gross styrofoam thing with sticky fruit punch all over it. Oh, ugh.
I saw a guy the other day walk in with like a coffee mug. You can do the same thing with coffee mugs. I forget what they're called, but he walked in with one and it had been to hell and back. And it was like stained brown. It looked like it was from like 1987, but he was walking in there to get his coffee with it. He got his money's worth. Good for him.
I don't understand. Why do you need to drink coffee everywhere you go? Like, are you that addicted to
Oh,
caffeine?
man.
Does it taste that good?
It doesn't taste good. I don't like coffee.
What
never
I
had a
just
full
don't
cup.
understand. Why is like 95% of the population addicted to coffee? I don't understand. I can understand like Doug's deal where he has like this freaking pool thing and the fancy, that I could be. I almost drank a cup of coffee thinking like this is cool. I could be down with this. But like
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand.
That line is wrapped every single.
There's like
morning.
a billion things that have to taste better than that. Even watered down Kool-Aid must taste better than. I don't know because I never tried it. But maybe I guess people love it. I mean, I'm missing out on something here. But you add coffee to the number one list of ridiculous bullcrap.
All right.
So what was the last one?
Corvette.
Yeah, I hate the Corvette the most.
All right.
Next question.
All that. Let's see here. I was thinking about Matt earlier when I downed an entire box of Christmas tree cakes this week. It was a rough day, and I deemed it my blood pressure medication.
You deserved it. Yeah. I do that all the time. I deserve it. I worked hard today.
Any advice for using drying aids in very high humidity? I use indoor coin wash in the cold of Sweden and find it tough to buff off.
I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that. A lot of it comes down to your towels. That's where a twist loop towel can make a big difference because it's so much more absorbent than others. And after you wash them a few times, they become pretty darn soft. I think that can be the solution, is to use a twist loop towel. You just don't need to go super heavy pile. That's why I was so reluctant. Like the Griots PFM and stuff, they're so freaking big and heavy. I just don't like that giant double towel sewn together. And so the solution is like the FTW, like the orange towel I'm talking about that we have.
Let's see. Kyle here in the chat wants to know any way we can get the orange OG T-shirt. Those are all gone. That was for the giveaway.
All we have are the orange hats.
Yeah.
The orange cool guy hats.
Mike T is chiming here in the chat. Mini fridge in the media office. Don't tell Matt.
No, not happening. There's no empty wall.
Ricky, I think I need to get on that cleanse Matt is on. 12 pounds in 5 days. Yikes.
It's super legit. Now, part of it is I think I'm detoxing off the happy pills. I think that might be, this could be the time like where I actually physically get legit again. Forget 195. That's not going to happen. But 210, 215, and run a 6-minute mile and squat clean 285. I could be down with that. Bench 285, something like that. 275. Deadlift mid fours. Man, I'm gonna be in great shape. It's gonna be awesome at 40.
Ricky, that's who mentioned that. Plus, Ricky, what were you starting at? 240-ish?
246.
So there you go.
So I'm at 233 and change. That was 245.5, and I'm 233.4 this morning.
So yeah, that's part of it too. We big boys. It's a little easier to knock off those first 10 or 12 pounds.
Oh, yeah. It's all heavy. Salt and water. Like, I could gain that back in a week. Or not even a week. In 2 days. If I shut her down. So, that's my big problem. And I've done it. So, I've done these aggressive, ridiculous things that I should just eat like a moderate human, which I'm incapable of doing. And so then I go on these ridiculous things. And then hopefully this time I can maintain it.
Kevin wants to know, when are you going to make the OG employees do a WOD next door? It's a workout of the day for...
Well, Mike is doing it.
Yeah, Mike goes
Kyle's
over there. Kyle,
doing it. Ted's doing it. I got to talk my dad and mom into doing it, which I don't think is ever going to happen.
Michelle.
Michelle's doing it. I was doing it until I blew out my spine. We'll get you in there sooner or later. And who's left? Bryce. Bryce has been super, super inquisitive about it. So Bryce is in. He's in for sure.
He doesn't want to get buffed, though. Remember, he doesn't want to be ripped. So.
And so we'll have the whole team over there.
Yoshi says sweet tea is greater than coffee.
There he is.
Very true.
Get out of here, Bryce. Get out of here. We don't want you getting ripped, opening that door too quickly.
Hi, Matt. Been an OG member since 2016. Seen a lot of cars come and go. Glad to see a Raptor in your lineup. Any plans on adding more modifications to the Raptor?
No, I do need to dial it in, though, because it's a wreck. It's actually at the dealership right now, getting a new door switch. I started to contemplate. I'm like, I don't want to be the fixing stuff. It has 88,000 miles on it. So now it's going to start needing, like, normal repairs like normal people have to do. And I'm starting to think I need to get rid of it, get a new one. So, Michelle likes that one too much. She just doesn't want a new one. I guess I could buy a used, Gen 2, but the Gen 1 is just so cool. But yeah, the only modification would be to dial in the paint again and recode it. It's beat up.
It's been a little over 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Jones, when is Brian Orr making a guest appearance?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Brian in a
Brian.
little bit. I need to get him up here and see where he's at. See all the millions he's making doing his stuff. He's left me behind. He's too big time now for little old Matty.
Let's see. This is from Jeff's Detailing on Instagram. Matt, I'm in the market for a new polisher.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the Adams SK Pro 15 Swirl Killer. How does that compare to, say, a Rupes LHR 15 in terms of usability and quality?
Yeah, don't buy the Adams. I don't even know what that is, but
Rupes is the way to go.
yeah, either that or I'm really intrigued by the Flex cordless stuff. But we're talking about $500-$600 polishers now. I mean, I think cordless is going to take over for wired, especially for hobbyists, because you won't be running it all day. And even if you will, I mean, battery technology has gotten so much better. So yeah, I mean, if money is an issue, then we do an LHR 20 or a 15 ES, which is the original Rupes. I'm just not a big fan of buying the knockoff crap. Don't buy knockoff foam cannons. Don't buy knockoff polishers. Don't buy knockoff wash pads. Don't buy knockoff grit guards. Just stick with the real deal. And I think you'll be rewarded in the long term with performance.
Matt, any interest on chasing a thread tape? Seems like a logical thing to connect all the pieces of your kits. My preferred one is the Jet Lube orange pipe tape. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I don't know. We've tried some thicker, better tapes, but they don't work as well on all fittings. So universally, the cheaper the tape, the better it tends to work for what we're doing. What I will be doing is a taping machine, which is I've already got the invoice for it. We just have to figure out where we're going to put it. Where it tapes things automatically for you by just sticking it in the hole.
Have you any updates on the Mosmatic pre-order Gundam Wand solution?
No, we're still on schedule for a January 4th ship date, and then a probably late January, early February delivery. So we should still be on schedule for that.
Let's see. I want to read this from S. Suriano on Instagram. No questions. Just wanted to say thanks. You've been an inspiration for me. I closed on my first home Tuesday, and while it may not be my destination house quite yet, it's certainly something I'm proud of. I got the crazy look at Lowe's when giving the OG spec paint code without having a color sample, but they were able to look it up. As you continue to build out OG as a whole, I'll continue to support and use your suggestions to build my garage.
You can't go to Lowe's to buy your paint. You're going to get some Valspar junk. I'm telling you.
Where do you go to buy paint?
Bear and Valspar are the two worst paints ever created. They're just garbage. You go to Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore. That's where you go. And you buy flat. Don't buy shiny. Flat paint.
Why flat?
End of
What's the
story.
advantage there?
It looks better. And you can touch it up without having to roll out the whole wall. You end up with shiny spots all over the place. So you end up with a different shiny spot. Yeah, flat paint, semi-gloss on all the trim and doors.
Let's see. We got a question here on Instagram. Are you putting up a Christmas tree at OGHQ?
No.
No. We have the Beadmaker
We
tree.
don't have anywhere to put it.
Beadmaker tree is all we need here. We have a super chat question from To Do. You've inspired me to build a garage. What dimensions, length, width, and height, would you recommend for enclosed wash bay suitable for a Raptor?
Let's see. You would want to be 20 to 22 wide. You'd want to be, probably 35 deep in a perfect world. With the overhead boom, centered up there, and you'd want probably a 9-foot boom. And then 22. You need 22 for a 9-foot boom. So probably 8.5-foot boom. And then you'd want the ceilings like 11 feet. Would be perfect. That's giant, but that would be perfect for a Raptor size, wash bay.
More super chat from Yoshi here. Any update on the M3's wheels? I'm in the market for wheels for my E90, but have the same something's off feeling on the Titan 7 wheels. Have you looked into BC Forged wheels, namely the KL01 or HCS21?
No, I mean, I sent my Clausens back, and they say they're going to send me a dialed-in set. So we'll find out in the MSO3s and Clausen. I mean, BC's pretty good. The BC styles never really worked for me. Same with Forge Line. I just never had any that they never had any styles that I really liked. Even their like Y spoke that I tend to go for just didn't look quite right to me. So yeah, but I think BC is a solid option if they have something that looks good to you. I think if these Clausens, if they get it right, I mean, their quality control was a major issue. I mean, these wheels were terrible. They were 5 pounds heavier than what they were before on my F80, and the F80's wheels were bigger. And so I think hopefully they can make them properly this time.
Any update on NSX? I think you reached out and asked people if they had a connection, let you know.
Yeah, so I have a few contacts. So what I'm looking to do, is find the SI, build the SI, and have that transition into an NSX. Sell the M5, sell the Z06, give away the Civic Si into the experience of getting an NSX. And so the access I was looking for was not to just go to a dealership. I mean, I could go to any dealership and buy one. It's to go to deal with the factory and then work through a dealership to buy the car. And so I have a few contacts. I've been kind of waiting to figure out what are the odds of me getting a Civic Si. Should I get an Integra Type R instead? And then what would I be requesting of them? What would I want to do? But yeah, I think an NSX would be right up my alley. Of course, I need to go drive one. But I don't know. I just have a suspicion about that car, and I like it more than the R8. It's smaller than the R8. I tend to prefer smaller cars, and it's so different than my GT cars. Of course, the GT3 RS wouldn't go anywhere in favor of that, but it would be, I think, a really cool car. I want something really well sorted. So either I get a Cayman GT4 or I get an NSX. When I'm done with these kind of project-heavy cars, I've been thinking about my M3 a lot, and I'm going to do a whole nother wave of getting that dialed in. I've got to paint some things and fix the paint, and I got to fix the suspension, that kind of gap, that fender gaps, to figure out what I'm going to do there. And I've been kind of waiting on the wheels to see what happens there. And of course, I want to deal with the water spots and shoot a whole series on that.
So related to that, Jonathan Edwards chimed in on Facebook. If your M3 is your daily driver and the GT3 RS is your weekend/fast car, what role do you imagine the NSX playing?
Well, I don't have a daily driver, so I don't daily drive anywhere. So every car is the same purpose for me. Just be awesome. Yeah. So my M3 is not a daily driver; it's just my awesome car. M5 is another awesome car. So I don't have that, and haven't for many, many years. I just drive whatever I'm feeling that day.
Kevin has a good question for you here in the chat. Can you ask your parents to co-sign on the Acura Integra?
Yeah, they don't remember that. So you're making that up. So come on. I remember this vividly. It was sitting there on the turntable spinning. My dad says, I'm not co-signing on a $25,000 car. You're 19 years old. Get out of here. So then I called them back a month later and said, how about on a $12,000 Civic? Okay, that we can do. I should have just tried to get a loan myself. I just assumed they wouldn't give it to me. I had a credit card for like a year or so, but I used a lot.
Let's see. The NetNet wants to know, any idea when the Mosmatic wand holders will be back? Yes, they've been ordered. Hopefully next week is when we'll have more of those.
They shipped, or
yeah,
theoretically.
They're en route.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ricky says, not sure if this got through before. Got my order of Pressall bottles, tips, and Decon soap today. The Decon soap bottle and the label look very slick and high-end. Glad I got them and more Pressalls.
Sweet.
So thanks, Ricky. Let's see. Do you know anything about this? The NSX has some fancy 5-layer paint stuff that should look pretty good.
Yeah, everybody's an expert on that now because Larry Cosilla made a video on it. So, but yeah, the paint is supposed to be pretty decent on an NSX. Of course, it would still have to be corrected and protected and all that, but it would be fun to have high quality, really deep, where they put lots of paint on it.
What's the ETA on the detailing series with Chris's truck? Next weekend, Rex and I have got it set up. We're gonna we haven't asked yet, but we're gonna use your wash bay
Okay.
to wash it on Saturday,
All right.
and then bring it over here to do what is it? CSL.
Oh, you're not going to correct it. You're just going to code it.
I don't know. Rex is gonna tell me and help me, but
Mm-hmm.
so next weekend is when that's happening.
All right.
Matthew S. Any collaborations coming soon?
VinWiki.
Yeah, that was just
VinWiki for sure. I don't know if I doubt I'll shoot a video at Adam's place, but everybody will be there. Cletus will be there, and TJ Hunt, and Tommy F. Yeah, and a bunch of other people are flying in from all over the place. I think Dustin Williams is coming too. I'd like to meet him.
Who's that?
He's one of the TJ Hunt guys, one of that crew who's kind of branched off and done his own thing. He does a lot of fitness stuff and a lot of JDM stuff as well. All these young guys are so into the cars that I was into when I was their age or younger, which is weird because most of them weren't even alive when these cars were cool. You know?
Brian checked in. Oh, and our other Brian friend checked in earlier, said hey. So, hey, Brian Deal. And hey, Brian Cow. Hello, Matt and Chris. Congratulations on the Black Friday sale. Keep up the good work you guys are doing.
We can do it, right? I think we can make it through. Yeah.
Getting close.
You got to get out there and get helping because my mom's probably about to shut her down.
Yeah. All right. This is all I got here. Dan, what truck did you get, Chris? I got a 2018 F-150 XLT. So it had 11,000 miles, and I think I mentioned this before, but it was in Canada for the first 11,000 miles, which I thought was pretty funny. Did you break the 600K for Black Friday? Tanner wants to know. Yes.
Yeah, we did 762
for the weekend. That was through Cyber Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's see.
Which is insane.
Lane says, Matt, I've been a follower since your Blue GT3 and White F80 days. My family just relocated to Orlando. I'm here every couple weekends. I'll be here the majority of December. Would love to come up and visit.
Cool. Yeah, come on up.
Yeah, we're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30.
Mm-hmm. Or, ish. Some usually earlier and later, usually. And then sometimes we're over here messing around on the weekends. But generally the weekends, it's hard to... I try not to nail it down because then it stresses me out. And I don't like to be nailed down at all. And so to book something specific on the weekend when I'm like water. I'm just liquid everywhere. I just go wherever I need to go and do whatever I want to do. And I hate being nailed down. So if you come up here on a weekend, there's a good chance I'm not here, or I could be here. Who knows?
And then what's your next travel here coming up? Is it the VinWiki thing? No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's before the Houston thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm going to Houston with Shell. I don't know if I like that, but I'm totally, completely off of any kind of sponsorship. I've talked about, do I take sponsorship? Do I not? How do I do that? And I'm just not doing it. It's just a weird dance. I'm not willing to. I don't frickin' dance. I'm white. The whitest white kid. I couldn't dance if you paid me. So I'm not dancing around with these companies about, there's what's the value and how many CPMs and all this bull crap. I'm not doing affiliate marketing and all that junk. So anyway, that's the story. What was that super chat?
One last super chat here from Dallas again. He's lighting it up there today. Canadian OG meetup, mid-January. Ice racing with Matt. There we go. I don't think he would hate anything more than that.
Yeah, I don't mind the cold. I mean, look at me. I'm born in the cold. I'm probably better off in the cold. But if you have the choice, I'm just I don't want my car getting all dirty. So that's why I'm here in Florida. I should move to Southern California. That way my car would be clean all the time. Anyway, that's the story. My back is hurting. I got to get out of this chair. You got to get some new chairs.
369 people right now. Yeah, 365 there, Kevin.
Sweet. All right, let's go get to work. I'm going to go back packing orders. I've signed a few very select orders in the box lid, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so if you see
packed by Matt Mormon, if it's not packed properly, you know that I packed it.
If the clear tape is janky, you know Matt packed that one.
Yeah, I can't get it straight for some reason.
If it's nice, that means it's mom.
It's like my polisher. I can never keep the thing flat. I'm a little bit off.
One last thing your mom wanted me to remind everyone, and someone in the chat actually asked about this. Any ETA on the beanies, the giveaway beanies? Not yet, because we got the sample in and it didn't look right.
Yeah.
So we're getting it redone. We're going to get it done right.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes, everybody go like this, like James says.
Yeah, giveaway. It would be interesting to see where we're at. We might be break even, you think?
I think so. I have to go and do that
So
today
now
or Monday.
let's try to make a little bit of money so I can reinvest back into garage design. So anyway, thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. Bryce has got to take us down. I'm doing that from in there.
Maybe we're done. I don't know. Not yet. So if you're still listening, after hours, the after chat, the code for 101% off of all products.